A former Las Vegas Christian private school teacher is facing at least 12 different counts of criminal sexual conduct. This is a relation with well, having a relationship with a student. December 2021, former private school teacher David Penley was accused by a senior at Faith Lutheran who had told police that she had been consistently sexually assaulted by her then teacher. Now, the student said Penley had approached her and invited her to attend a mission trip with him and his students to Mexico. While in Mexico, Penley tried to get her basically isolated and tried to get her to know her on a more personal level. When the group returned to Las Vegas, Penley allegedly approached her and, began whispering in her ear things like, I love you. And when she obviously was very uncomfortable with this, she pulled away and he had held her pretty much by force before finally letting her go. Other situations where this inappropriate conduct had happened was when he would text her and would badger her for a picture, right? She then sent him one just of her face. He then would make inappropriate comments about her and her breasts and how he wanted to grab them. In March of 2018, Penley had asked the student to come dog sit for him and his wife. Now, I mentioned he was married. Now, she agreed to do so, but when she arrived at his home, she realized it was just the two of them. And that, of course, was the first time where he had actually sexually assaulted her. And then he continued, according to police, to sexually assault the student over the next 6 months at multiple different locations, including the school itself, while telling her that he was doing it because he loved her and that God had made him that way. No. Man's a pedophile, predator. But it gets worse. The victim told police that every time she had told Penley that she did not like what he was doing, he would get very angry and then say that, no, I'm doing this because I love you. And then at one point, he even said that the reason that he was often sexual with her was because his heart is connected to his penis. Ah, of course, that classic line. And when he loves someone, well, I mean, that just has effects on the penis. It makes it go up. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Tallywhacker.
Now, thankfully, the man is not teaching anymore. But it's actually not in relation to these allegations. No, it turns out he had other issues. Penley was fired for drinking on the job back in 2020. So he lasted 5 years. He was hired in 2015, fired in 2020, drinking on the job. Now, that's the thing. Since he was no longer at the school, she was no longer a student, that's when she was able to come forward. Now, when the victim had told Penley that she was uncomfortable about the situation because he was married and the school would find out, he allegedly told her that he was planning on divorcing his wife and that no one would believe her if she told anyone because everyone likes him and he knew how to bullshit his way to make people believe him, according to documents. Wow. So, obviously, not a good person, terrible person, predator. Now, you want to talk about groomers in the classroom. Well, here's a good example. Now, of course, the same people that are freaking out right now about, there's groomers everywhere. They're all in the schools. They're everywhere. They're not talking about the ones that are in the private religious schools, are they? No, I don't see it. No, the people that tend to scream the loudest about groomers in the schools, they're not actually going after real groomers, real pedophiles. No, they're going after gay people, trans people. There are actual real predators, like this person, who did take advantage of this power dynamic that he had in order to prey on kids. But are they, the same people, again, going after LGBTQ people in schools? Are they talking about this? No, they're talking about fake kitty litter boxes for furries. They're threatening, children's hospitals for offering gender affirming care. That does not include surgeries for anyone under 18. Not happening. Now, if you want to find the real predators, you might want to look in the private schools. You might want to look in the churches. You might want to look anywhere where it's demanded that, you give complete and utter loyalty and subservience to any authority figure. That's where you're going to find the most predators. Because it turns out that, predators flock to power. And it turns out that religion, well, it's set up in a way where one person tends to have a lot of power. All right. Use this. Make people make the connection. When they want to defund public schools, they want to send kids to private schools with this kind of teacher. That's a good point. Because you know what? In a lot of private schools, when you're talking about private religious schools, are there really any, standards when it comes to who they will hire? What kind of standards are there? If this guy got through, this guy became a teacher. What were his qualifications? Getting drunk and hitting on his students, not good qualifications for a teacher. So I'm glad he's no longer, an instructor there, a teacher there, and that he has been arrested for this, has been charged for this, and we'll see if he actually has to serve time, and I absolutely hope he does.